the main impetus for this conversation is the publication of this extraordinary book I'm holding in my hand. For those of you who can't see it, it's E.G.'s new book. It's called Not My Type: One Woman versus a President. And it is about everything that led up to that very lengthy and quite extraordinary hug at the victory party. So for the first thing I want to know right now, before we get to the book, is how are you? Are you having fun?
Mary, I'm having so much fun. I'm not even aware at this point that I'm having fun. Really,
Okay.
I don't sleep, and I drink lots of coffee, and it's one explosion of happiness after another. It's just being received. People love the book. I'm like,
Well,
what?
they should.
I'm like, what? Even my family likes it. I mean, even my sisters and brother. It's like a moment, because you and I work in the dark.
Yeah, true.
And as Truman Capote said, you had that little whip that you beat yourself up. Writers beat themselves up on the back with that little whip in the dark, and we don't know what people are going to think about it.
Yeah.
And when it comes out,
It's terrifying, is what it is.
Yeah. And then it's shocking. I can't imagine what you did with your first book when it came out and it sold 1 million copies on the first day. It's hard. There's sometimes so much joy, it's painful.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're here to talk about your joy, which is, listen, well deserved, because it is the culmination of a harrowing at times process that you went through. And there are a couple of things I want to talk to you about, specifically about your book, because obviously the story itself is extraordinary. Your courage will go down in history. Your victory, your team led by the extraordinary Robbie Kaplan, whom I feel honored to call a friend. And, all of that is why the book is in existence. And that's enough of a reason to buy it. But what I also found it deeply moving at times, and painful, because as you're somebody I care a great deal about. So to watch you grappling with the excavations you had to do into your history and your psychology, and how your way of managing and coping was challenged at every turn. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because you just did such a brilliant job of describing it. But I was wondering what the process of writing through that was like for you.
Mary, it was fabulous. It was the one. First of all, you didn't mention the book is funny.
Oh, I'm going to get to the funny, but you know what, Eugene? Everybody expects that of you.
So
it is brilliantly funny, and that's let me rephrase that. One of the great things about the book is how it balances these very what could otherwise be jarring shifts in tone. You're talking about these very serious things, but you're you. So you always find the wit, you always find the humor in everything. And it's also, in some cases, your defense against the horrors. And it's deployed in all of those ways. So, yeah, that is one of, let's be real. Like, that is what the draw for people who read you. Yes, the sharp and piercing insights, but your wit.
You just answered your own question.
Did I?
Why? What was it like writing about it? Mary, when I went into it, I could see how highly comic the whole situation was, how surreal, how absurd. You grew up with this absurdity, as a child. You watched it. I was stunned by it. And so to me, it was very funny, because that's the way I handle things. So when I'm writing it, it was a release. The humor of the situation just blew away those black, hideous clouds, and I was off. Now, the first 40 pages, I don't know if Elizabeth Dissingard, the wonderful editor of this book, is reading it. Mary, I turned in the first 40, 50 pages. Her reaction was, let's chat.
I remember.
I know. And I said,
That's just what you want to hear.
She said, Eugene, you're not a lawyer. Why are you writing what? This is what? She said,
that's what transcripts are for.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it was a release to write about it. It just freed me, and also I just fucking love laughing at your uncle. Fucking love it.
It's a good hobby to have.
Good. Because he is a comical figure, a tragic, horrible, dangerous figure, but comical.
But he's a court jester. He's, yes. He's a commedia dell'arte, pagliaccio, whatever.
Yeah. We got to go to that restaurant. The restaurant, whatever, dell'arte. Trattoria dell'arte. We got to go.
Is that still around?
Yes, and there
are. Oh my God, we have to go.
Yeah, we have to go.
All right. We're there.
All right.
We're not going to say when.
No.
No. Because that would be ill-advised.
We would not even tell each other when.
No. Well, that could be lonely. But, we'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So, in addition to the brilliant reception that this brilliant book is getting.
Oh, can we show you the back?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I don't know if people can be able to see it. But I'm going to read just for fun, because I got a kick out of this. I didn't know about this until you told me, and I didn't know what it was until I got the book in my hand last week. So the very first, it's not exactly a blurb, but it says, quote, E. Jean Carroll is the bravest person I have ever known, unquote. And that, everybody, was a tweet I wrote just moments before the jury came back with its verdict.
The timing.
And after the verdict, Emily Nussbaum, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning writer for The New Yorker, wrote, quote, God bless E. Jean Carroll, brilliant and beautiful, avenging angel, and queen of Manhattan! Exclamation points.
Perfect
unquote.
For the two most perfect things on the back of a book I have ever seen. I've never seen anything like it.
I was pleasantly surprised because my tweet stands
immortal. Now it's immortal.
It's immortalized, exactly. So I just heard this right before we got on that an appeals court. Well, first of all, right before the book came out, or right after, I remember his appeal was denied in New York State, as it should have been.
Yeah,
I thought that was the end of it because I'm naive, and I keep forgetting that there really is no such thing as justice in America unless you're the perpetrator. So. Now, another court has ruled, because I guess he's appealing to the federal court. I don't know. Did you know what the next step is? Of course you do.
He went to the Supreme Court.
Oh. Okay.
Now, which one are you talking about?
So I'm just talking about the decision that he is not allowed to have the DOJ represent him.
Yes, that was a blow, Mary. That was a blow because he has no attorneys to represent him now. I mean, who's he going to have? Alina Habba? No, she's busy being the, New Jersey.
She's busy destroying the rule of law in New Jersey. This is true. Maybe Joe Tacopina's available?
Oh, jeez. I mean, what's he going to do? Who's he going to have? He needs somebody with some familiarity with the case. And he goes on Tuesday, they have to make oral arguments against the Alexander the Great of law, Robbie Kaplan. I mean, she's going to be given our side. Who's he going to have? None of the government lawyers can do it.
Well, just the fact that was even something, to me, that just shows us how degraded this whole thing has become. that one, how many years this has been going on now, and he still gets
We're going to be
to.
in the 6th year next. 2019 is 2024, so that's 5. So we're heading into the 6th.
Wow. Okay, so that's wrong in and of itself.
Well, how long has yours been going on?
Well, let's see.
2007?
We're in our 4th year.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's his case against me.
No, I know.
Yeah, so yes, we're in our 4th year. It's going swimmingly.
I gotta call Robbie Kaplan right now and say that.
Well, I mean, maybe he could borrow some of the attorneys from that case. I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't be offering legal advice though, so I'll stop now.
Oh man.
So he's appealing to the Supreme Court. I mean, will the Supreme Court take a case like this?
It's not a really. They're besieged right now, the Supreme Court. Do they want to take a case where a woman is assaulted by the president? I don't think so.
Oh, a couple of them probably do.
Oh, Mary, God, you're right. Oh, God. But their case is, here's their whole case. Their case is that our witness, Jessica Leeds, should not have been our witness because when Trump assaulted her on the airplane in 1980, it was not a crime to assault a woman on an airplane. That's their case.
So wait, why? Because it was over international waters, or there's no crime in the air?
D. John Sauer, now the current Solicitor General, that was his argument, Mary. It was not a crime when he attacked her in the air. If he did attack her, it was not a crime to attack a woman on an airplane in 1980. That was their argument, and she should not have been allowed to be a witness, and so the whole case should be thrown out.
Okay. That's
never mind that we had 10 other witnesses. You know, it just no. I see. Look at your head. It almost burns the brain trying to think of it.
Well, I'm just amazed that we have brain cells left at this point. So how do you keep your brain cells? Because you remain one of the sharpest people I know. You've been under the kind of stress that most mere mortals cannot fathom. Like seriously, for extended periods of time. So now granted, winning helps, of course, but there's sort of conditional wins in the sense that it's still going on and he still owes you, what is it, over $100 million now? None of which you've seen?
There, Mary.
Yeah. Nothing like compounded interest.
Yeah, 9%. Or actually it's 4%. It's actually because we're in federal court. And how I stay sharp is I eat leafy greens and beans and nuts and listen to your YouTube channel.
Well, I don't think that helps.
Well, I'm doing that. Oh, sometimes you go on a roll that takes the human brain and shreds it and builds a whole new one in your head while you're listening. That's what happens.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but you have been through it. And, the other thing that people will learn if they don't know it already is in this instance, you weren't taking on one person.
No.
You were taking on an army of sycophantic loyalist cult members. And, I've often wondered, especially as you're somebody, well, I was going to say you and I are similar in this way. Like we let certain things like that just kind of roll off our backs because what are you going to do? Right? Seriously, what are you going to do? On the other hand, though, I think characterologically, you didn't even want to process it and actually had a very difficult time processing it. So I think that actually made it take a bigger toll, at least in the short term. So if you could talk a little bit about that, because I don't think people understand just how vast the group of people against you was, even though it was literally you're going after the one man who wronged you so grievously?
Well, I was an old journalist, and I lived in New York, and I had an advice column, and I was known by a few people as an advice columnist. But when this case started, a whole lot of more people found out who I was, and the new group of people finding out who I was hated me,
Yeah.
hated me, just hate, 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 hate. And, so you and I learned to live with it. We live with it. And, so we can't tell anybody where we're going to go for dinner, but
Right. Or
otherwise,
when, certainly.
or when, but we can tell everybody what we're going to eat. I'm going to have the French fries.
That sounds like a plan. I could eat French fries for dinner
Oh, well, let's just have that, just a basket of the fries.
and some really good champagne.
Oh, yes. God, I want some champagne right now.
I think you could have some champagne right now
I can.
because you're E.G. Carroll and you just won again. And to remind everybody, this brilliant book was just published on Tuesday and you need to buy it. Also, I mean, I can't believe I didn't mention this. I am not the best at Substack Lives. You guys have to subscribe to Eugene's Substack, which is called Ask Eugene, which,
Mary?
well, thank you for waiting 20 minutes to say the important
it never
thing.
occurred to me. I would never think of that. I don't think that. Neither you and I don't think that way.
Nope.
We're here to see each other and
It's pretty much hanging out, guys.
hang out.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We haven't talked that much for a while. So yes, this is completely selfish on my part. Honestly. But no, I don't think we're the best capitalists on the planet.
No, Mary, particularly because, of course, you're a multimillionaire, as everyone knows.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Mary, what are you doing with all your millions and millions? Mary,
I just roll around in it. There's so much.
it's so much, isn't
Wait.
it? I mean, really.
Speaking of millions, multi-millions of dollars, by all rights, you should be getting in excess of $100 million, hopefully sooner rather than later. And one of my favorite things towards the end of the book is you're talking about what you're going to do with the money. And so just fill people in because it gave me joy.
Well, I'm going to do it right here on Substack. I'm going to make public
Yep.
every single donation that the Eugene Foundation, that we have a big, important foundation now, all ready to go. I mean, it's all official, set up by Rachel Harris herself at Loeb and Loeb, for goodness sakes. I mean, it's all official. And I am going to give it to everything your uncle hates. You know how much he loves money.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much he's going to hate seeing his money given to things he hates? Now, Mary, you and I used to have a plan for that money, which was to build an animal sanctuary in Trump Town.
That's right. Now we can't do that anymore because I didn't get any. Oh, well.
But we can still do an animal sanctuary somewhere.
We can. We just can't buy Trump Tower.
No, well, that's,
we can wait. Hopefully it'll go into receivership or something.
Well, Mary, we're living in a dream world. He is on top of the world, running the world, and is king of the world right now. Your uncle.
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about this a lot, of course, but in reading the book, I was reminded of just how surreal it is. One, how we got to know each other.
Yeah.
Which I just kind of love that story. If you want to remind people, we met through Robbie. I first met Robbie in COVID summer of 2020. I believe.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
We met. Yeah. We met as knitters. We were knitting.
That's right.
We had a knitting circle.
I don't think you and I actually met in person until 2022 or 3. No,
no.
20. It was a while though
It
before we
was,
met in person.
and we had your wonderful parrot,
Sebastian.
Sebastian. And I remember the first time we met while we were knitting, Sebastian came over and gave you a nip on your toe, and you jumped like this. My God, what the hell happened?
He liked my toes. He
Yeah, I
did.
mean, he would
It's
come
true.
over and take a chunk out. And then you would say, "Oh, Sebastian, please look what you just did. And you're so kind to him." I thought, my God, that he's about 500 pounds walking around. Remember? Oh,
Yes, I think he weighed a pound. But anyway, so my point is that we met obviously because of Donald. So I guess we have something to thank him for. Um,
yes.
but it is surreal to think about who he actually is in our lives. And it, it's so wrong that he is where he is, despite all of the damage and all of the devastation and everything, all of the personal horrible things he's done, to you, to other people.
Do you?
Yeah. Um, but yet, and I think this is one of the most important things because of it took so much courage and it took so much time for you to do what you did. You are, as far as I'm aware, the only person on the planet who has beaten him consistently and
Wow.
time after time. Well, and I consider the appeals another one.
Oh, those are beats too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Um,
You know, I'm an old woman, and if I can beat your uncle, anybody can beat your uncle. And I think we have a lot of power here, Mary. I think women, particularly, who control the purse strings in most families, and older women control a lot of wealth in this country. If we realized how much power we had, if we got together, we could control him because what does he love? He loves money. If we withdrew the money from the economy in any number of ways, I think we could. I think we could get our way. I don't understand why we are not coalescing on just the economic thing. Women have so much power, so much monetary power in this country. Um, Maybe you should lead this, Mary, because I mean, you have a vast network. We could do it. We just have to fucking leave the house. We just have to leave the house. That's all. I mean, you left
yeah,
the house.
I
And
did. I left the house.
you left the house. Look what happened.
But why did I leave? The first time I left the house though was because of you. And I think that people should take you and what you did as an example of how it is possible. Because the truth of the matter is, Donald, and he's always had power, but it's power that's been conferred on him by people who need to use him for one reason or another. Like as a human being, he is not, you know this better than most, he's not a powerful person. He is very easy, I think, to take down. And we've seen that, we see this in the way
Yes.
he has reacted to you.
Mary, he is an old man wearing apricot makeup with his hair all done up like Tippi Hedren in The Birds. That is your uncle. That is who he is. And when Robbie and I won the $83.3 million, we walked out of the courtroom, got in the car, we pulled away from the curb. And you know Robbie, when Robbie's happy and she was thrilled, she's got to talk to everybody she knows at the top of her lungs on her phone, right? She's on the phone making call after call after. I am leaning back in the back seat. I am as quiet as can be, right? But I've got a big grin on, and we're rolling through Lower Manhattan, Soho, Chinatown, the Village, and you know what I'm thinking? Donald Trump, this is your town, and I just beat the crap out of you. Right?
Badly. And this is the thing people don't know necessarily, but you make clear in your book. People think, oh, New York, it's a New York jury. Well, New York is a very large state. It is a very diverse state. Yeah. There are plenty of places in New York outside of New York City that are extremely provincial and right wing and MAGA. And one of our boroughs is Staten Island is like 90% Republican or something terrifying like that. Don't go to Staten Island if you can help it. Unless you live there, and in which case I apologize. But I'm from Queens and we have this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, your juries were not a bunch of, New York Times reading liberal, Starbucks drinking people in your pocket. Like your team convinced a lot of people on a jury who were not inclined to believe you.
No, that we had an upstate jury. We had people from upstate counties generally lean more towards the president.
Yeah.
They would and we had a male jury, and we know that men love him. And we were going up against the odds in this case. Of course, when Robbie goes up against the odds, she just gets all the more brilliant. And we convinced an upstate jury that he was liable.
Yeah. Yeah. And that to me says everything about your case.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there was never any doubt in my mind. But that's not how it works. In fact, one of the most devastating parts of your book at the beginning is when they were going through you were meeting after the mock trial verdicts came in.
Geez. Oh.
And everybody, basically from Robbie on down, was just basically telling you needed to cut your hair in a particular way and maybe make it a little lighter. It's like, okay, yeah, that's America for you. But in the end, I think what we saw was that the jury system can work.
No, they convinced it. And talking about what I wore and how I wore my hair, et cetera, et cetera. So to get even with that, because any assault trial or any trial with any woman, the woman who was just found now guilty yesterday proves my case. People write, and the press talks about nothing but what the woman wore. So I made a point in this book to describe everything that everybody wore.
Yep.
Everything, fully.
Yep.
Anybody walks in the courtroom, you're going to hear what they have on, how they look in it. Was it great looking? Was it not? And the thing that struck me as odd is during the trial, the second trial, reporters would go on and on about what I wore. Not one person mentioned what he wore. Not one person mentioned what he wore or what he was wearing during the event at Bergdorf's. Nobody said, what did he about? What did he have on? Alina Habba in the deposition was very interested in how he took them off and put them on. Mm-hmm. And she was very interested in those pants. She was so interested in Donald Trump's pants during the deposition, no matter how many times I told her he didn't take them off. He didn't take them off. Well, how is that possible, Monsieur? He didn't take off his pants.
Does she not know how men's pants work? It's serious. I mean, maybe she doesn't. I don't know.
She may not know. I don't know. It's but it's the two-way system. It's so old. It's 70,000 years old, and yes, I had to look fuckable. That's how I had to look, Mary. And I'm 80 years old. So good luck. So cut the hair, blonde it. And I wore clothes that I owned and wore in 1996 when it happened. As a matter of fact, the jacket on the cover of the book, I bought that with my first money from Elle magazine at Bergdorf's in 1993. Yeah.
Which is a beautiful symmetry, by the way. I don't know if you guys see that. That outfit is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
I love how you hold up that book. I just love it. You just hold up that book. Boom.
It's very professional. I practiced.
Yeah. You want to talk about my Sebastian, my parrot? Here's the book. Now, Sebastian, fabulous, fabulous.
Okay, so we're going to start a movement, and I don't disagree with you. I think that I've been saying this for quite some time now. We're going to get to the point where we need to shut it all down. I don't see any other way around it. I mean,
Yes, yes,
protests are
I've been
great.
hearing you saying that on your Substack. I've been hearing you saying that on your YouTube. That is what you're saying.
Yeah, and but you are adding an extremely important element to that. It's women. It's women who need to lead this fight. And you alluded to this earlier as well. Are we not sick at this point of how many people in this country continue to have contempt for women, continue not to believe women, continue to empower men who actively harm them? I mean, it's enough already.
Look at your uncle's cabinet.
Do I have to? I don't want to. But yes, you're right, and that's because they all empower and enable each other. So I think,
Hey, Mary, you're getting a lot of comments about, yes, shut it down. Women need to lead. Lead us, ladies. Come on. Mary, look at your comments here. Ready to go. Lead us, ladies. Come on. Mary,
yeah,
really? You got
but
people going up here.
we have got to do this thing. So I think we need to have a strategy session at
Mary, I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
No, I am too, with French fries, champagne, and I am completely serious too. Something has to happen. I'm curious, and then I want to go because I know you're extraordinarily busy, and have to talk to other people about this phenomenal book. E. Jean Carroll's Not My Type: One Woman versus a President. You could buy it anywhere, by the way, anywhere. What do you think? About let me rephrase. Do you think there are any leaders right now, or do we need to?
Mary, you know I've been telling you this for a year and a half. Who is the leader? Mary Trump, you are the leader.
Well,
I
okay,
want
that's
everybody
not
to
what
know
I
I've
was
been trying
gunning for.
to talk Mary into running for U.S. Senate, and then she won't do that. And I tried to get her to run for for the House. But but I've been trying to get Mary to run on the Republican ticket.
Yes, Eugene wanted me to primary Donald in 2024. That would have been fun.
Mary, I know. So I think we're looking at the leader, and I think the women can control, especially the older women who hold a lot of wealth. I think it's over 54% of the wealth.
Yeah.
Older women have got all this wealth.
Fascinating.
We can pull his wallet out from under him. We can do it.
Yeah, and for those people,
the leader. I'm looking at her right there. I'm looking at her.
Okay. That was not where I was going. Where I was going with this is that I completely agree with you about the economics here. The economy, forgive my use of this word, trumps everything for most voters in America.
Yes.
And, for those of you thinking, oh, well, it's not going to hurt Donald. Like, we can't go after his wealth directly because, people keep throwing money at him. Yeah. But to E. Jean's point, if we shut down the American economy, then he loses all of his support.
All of it. The people will be and we just shut down segments of the economy. We don't try to ruin our own country. We do it selectively where he really gets hurt.
Exactly. And what will also hurt him tremendously, because it's as fun for us, because it'll upset him, is when he has to write E. Jean Carroll a certified check in the amount of probably by then $110 million. So really quickly, where do you go from here? I know you have lots of appearances lined up, and anything else you want people to know about the book or how to? Oh, and before I forget, do not forget to subscribe to Eugene's Substack. Ask Eugene.
Thank you. I want everyone to know that this book is the beach read of the summer.
It is. It's fabulous. It's fabulous, just like it.
It's a high comedy, but there are deadly, deadly serious sections of it.
Yeah.
And we are, I am talking to our future leader here, Mary Trump, and we are about to cause some things to shut down. So the
Yeah.
fifth book is about grabbing that moment of joy whenever it comes along. It's about love because two of my attorneys fell in love while they were representing me, and I
That's
want
so
you all
awesome.
to learn how that turned out. And I want people to know you're never too old to get even.
Right. And prevail and fight, speak truth to power.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Eugene,
Well,
again, congratulations. It is. It's brilliant. It's funny. I found it deeply moving. It's fascinating.
thanks.
And it is about your prevailing against all of the odds. And, it's also about the community you were surrounded by, your incredible team. And I also found that really moving.
I did too.
So I hope you enjoy every single second of this tour. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Mostly, though, for selfish reasons, I can't wait for us to have pommes frites and champagne
Yeah,
very soon. We're going to leave the date a secret. Hopefully,
yeah.
not between us, but for everybody else.
Mary,
Okay.
I love you, Mary.
I love you, Eugene, and I will talk to you very, very soon.
Adios.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bye.